introduction or to raise up your hand if you want to ask any questions, and I'll find you. And this community call is being recorded. And please make use of the closed captioning as you need. And just a little bit about our community objectives. We want to create a friendly and tolerant community that is safe for everyone. We want these spaces to be a place where we can come together and learn from one another. And we aim to create a community space where everyone is welcome, accepted, and valued for their knowledge, skills, background, and experience equally. Just a quick note on our thank you to our members for supporting us on our Buy Me a Coffee. In a second, I'll pop the links into the chat, and we'll get some links up in the Instagram chat as well, for the link to Buy Me a Coffee, where you can support us from €2 up, essentially. And a quick note on our May raffle. You might have seen it on our Instagram. I'll also pop another link in the chat. We've got this fantastic PDF pattern this month from the So-So, and you can enter by already being a member. You get free entry. If you're not a ZWDO member, you can support us via Buy Me a Coffee, or you can do the following 2 steps. So if you pop to the Instagram post, you can like it, follow us, and comment what first got you interested in making zero waste design, and you can get your entries in till May the 31st. Another quick note about our community directory. Please add yourselves to the community directory. We'll also, again, I'll add a link in the bio in the chat in a second, as well as our zero waste pattern library. Please check it out. You can find loads of patterns there, and also add your own patterns. And what's next? So next month we've got our Building Community and Networks call. We actually were supposed to have that one last month, but we bumped it for some more e-learning. So next month we will be handing over to you. We'll be having breakout rooms and group chats, so you can all get connected and connect with the whole of the community and make networks across the globe.
Just like us.
And today our aims are for us to share with the community and yourselves about our e-learning course, progress in development, and receive feedback on certain aspects of what we've been filming over the past few days. And for you guys to engage, have the opportunity to ask us any questions, and to inform the build of our e-learning course to suit your needs. So I'm going to pass over to the team. I mean, we can just pass over to the full team for a sec to chat about how we've been doing over the week. And then I think Danielle and Holly are going to talk to you about what they've been filming over the past couple of days and what you're going to be filming tomorrow. And for you guys to give a little bit of feedback on or talk about. And then we'll move on to Q&A at the end. So yeah.
Cool. Sounds like a plan.
We've had a great week. Do you guys want to talk about your weekend? So we all got here across the weekend. If you were following on Instagram, we shared all of the journeys as we finally all got to Scotland. I feel like a TV presenter. Who was it the other day who said I was like it was like me and Graham Norton? Was it you? There's a very English reference for anyone. My celebrities on the couch. So, have you guys had a nice week?
Yeah. I arrived on...
Want to tell us about Devil's Pulpit again?
Sure. So, after arriving on Friday night and meeting first Mylene and then Danielle for the first time in person, we went to the Devil's Pulpit, which is this amazing natural wonder in north of Glasgow.
I don't actually know what direction it's in. It might be north.
Some
outside.
direction
Outside of Glasgow.
from outside of Glasgow, and it's like like a little rivery stream thing that's carved out the earth. Super nice. Climb down. Cass had a swim. And the rest of us were way too chicken.
It was very impressive.
Super good. And then we had...
You mentioned also that it reminded you a lot of New Zealand.
Yeah, it's very, very similar landscape. It was emotional. So, yeah, it was nice.
And then the Scottish fry-up.
And then, yes, I made a Scottish fry-up, vegan, vegetarian Scottish fry-up for everyone on Sunday, which was fun. We had a kind of mentor of mine from just outside of Glasgow come along and do some what we call business therapy with us. We just wanted to talk through kind of some of the challenges that we've been having, how we move forward as a collective, how we how we, I guess, move forward, particularly with Danielle and Holly, with their current kind of capacity in their new jobs being quite intense, or their current jobs being, what am I trying to say? Demanding, quite demanding. How we move forward, what is our capacity within Zero Waste Design Online? So just trying to define some of these roles, talking about kind of feelings and lots of things.
Emotional.
And so, yeah, it was very emotional.
Lots of feelings.
Lots of feelings. But it was really good, and we've got a bit of homework this week. We're going to work on drafting a memorandum of understanding for the organisation so that we all know we're on the same page. And this Saturday, we're going to have David, who worked with us on Sunday, come back and kind of see what we've worked on during the week and see if we can kind of draft something together. So that was Sunday. And then Monday was really just preparing for coming to Cove Park. Some frantic packing, making sure we had everything we might need.
So much writing.
Yeah.
So much writing.
Yeah, we're about an hour outside of Glasgow currently. So, but yeah, Danielle, you want to talk about kind of script writing and...
Yeah, we all had grand plans to write lots of the script of our e-learning course before we got here, but such is life. So as soon as we all are together and writing, it makes it a whole lot easier because we get to bounce our words off of each other, and we all have such different perspectives that we can, call it out as like, oh, well, you might think that, but is that going to be applicable for everyone? That whole kind of thing. So we've been writing the script for, of course, our introduction to Zero Waste Design, our e-learning course. We go into, how many topics do we go into? I don't even know.
Well, we've got 9 modules at the moment, and each module has quite a few chapters within it.
But we won't cover all of the 9 modules during the week. It's not
even really half, to be honest. Yeah.
The main ones are like the introduction, like what is Zero Waste Design Online? What is it? Who are we, and why do you want to listen to us about what we're talking about? Then it goes into
the context.
Context, yep. So like environmental, social, economical context of zero waste design and why it matters. And then it goes into zero waste design overview, right?
Yeah. I like sort of design but very introductory design methods, because what Danielle's been filming today is, you can tell them, it's your story to tell.
Yeah, so today I have talked a lot, so I'm surprised I can even form words right now. So basically what we filmed today was, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with my Pattern Masters. It's basically the little set of tools that you get that you can make a zero waste garment with a tool plus a set of instructions. So I was recording the kind of history behind how it came to be when I was at RCA, what actually has been developed since then. I talk about the factory that I opened up since I started those and how that kind of links together. And then I go into the actual practical examples of, let's see, we do 3. So there's the short pattern, which is the most iconic one. It's the one we've done in our workshops before. It's very quick to kind of understand, and it's really easy tool to kind of show how it works. Then there's an adaptation for trousers, where we go into actual real body measurements. We brought in a model and took fit body measurements and made a pair of trousers based on those, which is really cool. So we have an actual person interacting with it, and it changes kind of live based on, measurements and fit preferences. We did have to do some prep work. So to be honest, I did maybe sew a pair of trousers before we got here, but we also are live cutting and sewing trousers as well. And then the third pattern we're doing is the button down, which is the most experimental pattern master so far that we've tried to communicate about. There are lots of moving pieces and lots of parts, and it's not a very complete tool. It's you have to understand the proportional relationship between one part and another. So that was the last thing we just filmed. It's the least worked out, but it's also really cool, just showing that there's there's a whole range of different levels that go within the same set of pattern masters. So that last one was just basically a paper maquette. So I drew it out and stitched it up with tape. And then just talked a little bit about, you know, this is maybe more of not an intro level, you know. You need a little bit of understanding of how garments go together. But yeah, and then what else did I talk about today? I just gave more context to the factory Decode MFG, which I opened in Brooklyn back in October. So I talked a little bit more about that. And then, yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, and we'll be filming also back at the factory as well.
Yeah.
In the next kind of month or so, probably. Just showing you some of the construction for the trousers and probably just a little bit of a tour. Maybe we'll do some lives and stuff as well.
Totally.
Show you some more of Danielle's factory, which none of us have actually seen either. So,
Yeah.
well, through photos and things.
I want to host our
Zoom.
next collective experience. Should be in New York, but it's the furthest away for everyone else, so probably not.
If we go for a month,
yeah, we can host. But yeah, so then while I was doing that, everyone else was working away in the background, writing and making things for tomorrow. So you can take it away now.
Okay, so tomorrow we're filming Make Use. So both Danielle's and filming that she did today, and what I'm doing tomorrow is sort of in a module thing around systems. And so I'll be going through how to use the Make Use, or the origins of Make Use, the development of the research that was sort of underlying the whole process, the exhibition, and the design of the original garments. And then also we're going to, I'll talk through the grid and template system. And so today I've been preparing the templates, because I used to have a full set of laser cut templates, but I've since moved to Sweden and then to the Netherlands, and I no longer have them.
That's exactly what happened to my templates.
So I'm like, oh well, I think they're in a box back at my friend Emma's house. Like, I think I know where they are, but I'm like, I don't think that'll work. So we printed off some new copies, and I've just been like making them so that we can use them. And Mylene's been helping me with constructing, while I've been doing that and writing script and planning everything, Mylene's been constructing a garment prototype that I'll be kind of talking through the design process of, and then explaining the things that work with it and the things that don't, and what I would do to fix it. So it'll be like an iterative process of problem solving. You know, if you use a making system and this happens and you're like, that's not quite what I wanted, then here's what you can do to improve it. And then the improved version, you'll get to see the full construction process, because Cass and Mylene are going to do that after I've gone back to the Netherlands. So that's what I've been doing today, writing lots, and also having lots of meetings because of my normal job, and trying to squeeze, I talked to my husband and my 2 kids back in the Netherlands. That was nice. It's been cool. It's been really funny looking back at, because I was like, oh god, I need like images to populate this very in-depth exploration, and this sort of, looking back on what I did 7 years ago, and I haven't really looked at it much since about probably in the last 4 years. And then I was like, oh, where is all this like information? And then I found all these like slideshows and presentations that I completely forgot about. Like it no longer existed in my head. And then I was like, holy shit, there's all this really cool stuff. Oh, that's right, I did that. It's cool. But yeah, it's been kind of nice.
I've been a little bit jealous of the kind of sewing afternoon in the Terrancey pod.
I'm not sure how relaxing it's been.
Mylene wants to go into the filming pod tomorrow.
Yeah.
Filming studio.
I would like to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been with Simon and Danielle all day, kind of taking note. Simon is our videographer. Thank you. So he works for Lateral North, which is the company we've hired to do all the videography and editing. So he'll be making our crowdfunding film, our kind of general marketing film for the e-learning course, and then the content to populate the actual e-learning course. So and he's been very wonderful to work with.
Yeah, he's so good to work with.
Yeah, it makes it so easy.
Yeah, I hate being on camera, and I don't mind it because he makes everyone feel so comfortable.
Yeah.
So, it's very good.
It was nice to be surrounded by the team when we were recording as well.
Yeah, the first day was so much fun. It had so much energy because I don't know if we've said it enough times, but we've not all ever met before. So all of us working together on making this thing together, it was just super cool. And yeah, and speaking of feeling comfortable, like I feel like we've known each other for years, which we have, but
2 years.
2 years. Well, I've known you a little bit longer. But yeah, I don't know. It's just so lovely to have like the support of these amazing women behind me, behind us, behind what we're doing. And it's, I feel very blessed. Hashtag blessed.
Hashtag emotion.
Yeah. I think, same with me. I mean, it's incredible. I said we actually did this little activity. I think we shared it on Instagram on our day one. We did a kind of activity to celebrate something positive about zero waste design online, and then we also celebrated something positive about each other and ourselves.
Yes, self-recognition.
Yeah, and it was just, I mean, I think one of the things that I commented on is just this like sense of belonging within the team that it's been maybe really healing for me as well, just to be part of something that you feel is so important and with such incredible people. And one of the things we've often said is that we're friends first as well, and just feel very fortunate to have you guys. Yeah, and you guys, the community as well. You're so wonderful and supportive, and it's amazing to be part of this community that cares so much about the things that we care about, and we're here to support each other. So yeah. So tomorrow we're filming Make Use, and on Friday we are filming a module which is about the methodology of working from an existing pattern. So whether that's working from like a pattern block, kind of standard industry pattern block, or for a home sewer that's working from a sewing pattern from a pattern company, and you want to reduce the waste, or you want to maybe take that pattern and experiment with it and try and make it zero waste. We've got two examples, from Paper Theory, which is I believe British pattern company, and the other Untitled Thoughts, a sewing pattern company in America, and we're going to be using some of their patterns just to show you how you can manipulate and work with the patterns to minimize or create zero waste within the pattern cutting layout as part of that module. So we'll be working on that. And then we're going to do another Instagram Live as well, because we'll have a section on kind of myth busting for
I'm very excited for
zero waste. And thanks to those of you that commented on the Instagram post and give us your feedback, myths you might have heard or even believed or maybe still believe about zero waste. We're looking for that kind of feedback so that we can respond to that during the session. But we'll be filming for that module. We'll basically have, or I guess it's kind of a chapter within a module about myth busting, and we'll be filming that kind of in a similar, well, pretty much in the exact same place, in the same setting, on Friday afternoon UK time. But we'll do an Instagram Live at the same time while we're filming. So if you want a little in on the filming, you can come on Friday. I think it's going to be between around 3 to 5 GMT. And also Q&A if you just have kind of general questions you'd like us to ask. You can actually just post in the chat here, or we'll answer them today, and then we can talk about them again on Friday as well. But that's a plan for the week. And then Danielle, well, I think we're all here till Sunday morning. Danielle leaves on quite early Sunday morning,
Yeah.
then Holly Sunday afternoon. And Mylene and I were just saying it's quite nice because Mylene's actually staying in Scotland with me for another month. And I was saying...
So jealous.
More than a
know.
month, but I'll be staying with you 1 month.
Yeah.
And then
Oh yeah, and then another 2.5 months.
I'm
in
not
Scotland.
coming back to France before.
Ever.
Yeah.
Tell us about your trip, Mylene. What are you planning?
Yeah, so at the end of June, so I'm staying with Cass the next month till the 20th of June. And then starting from June, I'm going on a cycling trip around Scotland. So I haven't like planned anything yet, but yeah, it's gonna be like adventure on my bike.
And a break.
And a break. So I plan to turn off my computer for 2 months and a half, which is like, yeah, it hasn't happened for years. So I'm really looking forward to that period because I need it. I have worked too much.
Do you think you'll find it hard at first? Like
Yeah.
not going to the computer, not wanting,
Yeah.
you need to resist.
Yeah, probably. But I think just leaving my computer at Cass.
Oh, there's
place.
no choice.
No choice.
No choice. Yeah. I'll still have my phone, so I can receive
You
email.
might have
but-
to delete some apps or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm coming back in France in September. And yeah.
But one of the things we've said is that we're going to try and work in person a little bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, France, Netherlands, Scotland are not far.
Someone said they would like to be able to see the whole group while they're talking. I think you can pin the one where it's little. Like if you, how do you do it? You right click on the thing?
More? No.
I think on the, up here, maybe, hover over there. You go to
Yeah.
the little 3 dots and you go to
Add pin.
add pin.
So yeah, if you click on the 3 little dots to the right on our little picture, it says add pin, and if you click on that, then it should pin our video.
Make it big.
Yeah, make it big.
I think.
Let us know if you need any more help.
There is no subtitle though,
Oh,
isn't it?
we haven't enabled. Actually, that's a good point. We haven't enabled subtitles, which we should have done. We can do that now. I'm trying to remember how to do it.
It's not available.
Does anybody have any questions, or are we not doing any
Yeah,
questions?
no, we are going to do questions. So I was thinking, right, first half an hour, a bit of a chat, and then we'll take questions and things.
Is there anything else we want to talk about?
Okay, I was just saying, I think one of the things Mylene and I were talking about is that we would like to maybe work in person a little bit more. Like, it's just really isolating working, like not being around each other physically for long periods of time. And now that we've met, and we're not like location-wise actually that far from each other, Holly and Mylene and I, unfortunately Danielle is across the ocean. But that's something maybe at least every couple of months or something, trying to...
They were going to come and hang out in my house in the Netherlands because it's like the midpoint, and then I don't have to travel. It's excellent. And Delft, where I live, is super nice.
It's amazing. I just visited about a
You
month
have to
ago.
come to France.
Oh,
Us as well.
Oh, such a chore. I have to go to France for me.
Oh no.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we've identified some things we'll move forward with that will maybe make things easier and
And make things happen faster. Like it's taken a long time to get where we are.
Yeah.
I mean,
really fast in such a short space of time.
working together, it's mental. Like we have been working on this e-learning course off and on since we started in August 2020, and the amount we've done in the last week together is more than months and months and months. So
and because I guess it's all about the energy that like being together, like it kind of brings more energy and working.
You can make decisions faster. Because
you're not waiting.
Constantly able to go, I was thinking I could do this. What do you think? And then someone goes, maybe, but we should do that. And then you kind of go, right, you just talk about it right there, and then you make a decision. And it's done.
and it's also like you know you're here for that specifically, and you have nothing else. Well, you have,
and you have a little,
but you're still here, which makes a huge difference. Yeah.
But another thing we've talked about is potentially, is meeting in person once a year as kind of a priority, wherever that is, and kind of, making a priority to film e-learning basically together once a year. We have recognized we probably need 1 week of preparation and then 1 week of filming. We've basically just done 1 week of filming, and I spent a lot of time preparing for this week, but there was just so much to do and so much kind of collaborative work we needed to do. It's been like filming all day and then prepping for the next day and writing scripts for like in the evening, and we're knackered.
It's a bit full on.
Exhausted.
Yeah. So
we're learning. Grand plans for like meditation in the field.
And board games in the evening.
We need to still play board games one night.
That would be nice. Maybe Friday night. That's like the end, and we can have some burgers and play Ticket to Ride or Dutch Blitz. But yeah, we wanted to kind of turn it over to you and ask if you have any questions for us, if you want to share anything. You can just unmute and ask us a
I like
question.
that comment. Isn't it zero waste ultimately about kindness and friendliness to ourselves and others?
Oh,
yes.
Sheena Black. Thank
you,
you.
Sheena.
Yeah. Oh, lucky you, Mylene. I think with your trip.
Oh, it's like an Avengers Assemble moment. Yes!
Oh,
we need uniforms.
And like a stance where we all put our fists in.
And then like lightning and stuff. And then totally.
Oh, we each need a puzzle piece to represent ourselves, like a pattern piece.
That's it. Does anybody have any questions?
So you can just speak up. If you want to unmute yourself, you can put a message in the chat, whatever you're comfortable with. Or on Instagram, hi, over there. If you want to share a question as well, Hillary's over next to the phone, keeping an eye over there as well. So, it doesn't have to be about e-learning. If you just have any kind of pressing zero waste
got a question.
So here we go, first one. So what is the course that you are working on?
Come on, Cass, tell us.
We haven't completely figured out exactly what we'll title it, but it's basically an introduction to zero waste garment design. We've decided not to use the word fashion, just because we see fashion as kind of trend-led and changing, and wanted to stay away from the word fashion just because of the connotations related to it. And so we don't know for sure. And if anyone has any thoughts, it's about an introduction.
We discussed it a little bit, maybe having introduction to zero waste design, making clothes without making waste, as a subtitle, to make it a bit clearer. Because zero waste design is not clear for everyone. We need to define it.
But the overall content just covers an introduction to why bother, why is this important, and then some introduction to the systems in a lot more depth than I've ever gone into. Actually,
I think any of us.
Whenever I've done make use workshops, it's always been just the templates and not how you can modify things further and really manipulate that stuff. So it's in a lot more depth. And then the how to use an existing pattern stuff is so it's kind of just different methods for how to do it. And we talk a lot about both sort of from an industry perspective, how these things can be valuable, but also from the perspective of a home sewer or a student who is a designer. So we're really trying to introduce this in a way that can be interesting depending on whatever your background may be.
So we really worked on choosing the content for the course that would apply to as many people with as many different backgrounds within our community for this first course. And already, like, as we're developing, we're like, we could do this after, we could do this after, we could do this after, and we're going to have, like, you know, probably add-ons to this course if you want to learn different methodologies. So, like, initially when we planned on, like, last year when we were working on the course, can't remember how many methodologies we had, but it was, like, looking at drape and geometric or square cut garments. What are some of the other?
It was square cut, making from existing patterns, geometric, parametric, which is one that we don't talk about a lot, and then systems,
Yeah.
So hybrid.
And now tessellation as as an approach as well. I mean that, you know.
And there is also like the industry perspective. Like we are thinking about developing an e-learning course about zero waste design applied to industry, but we need a little bit more of testing and kind of gathering different perspective from different companies. So it could be interesting for other companies. And also like potentially having an e-learning course about minimal waste design or zero waste design through like using Cove 3D. So that's another one.
Yeah, we introduce all these things in this course with the intention that we'll potentially go into a lot more detail and
future courses.
You know, things like the difference between minimal waste and zero waste. We introduce it, but you know, we'd want to go into more detail later. We also it'll cover the construction as well. So it's not just like paper maquettes or anything that, you know, because when we did the online courses, we're very restricted to, you know, like live online courses, you're really restricted to working with paper maquettes. And so then you can't really get into construction. And so that'll be a key part of this.
And it's actually very important.
Yeah.
Like, and then me, like making one of the make-use garment today, like the construction is all like is everything. I mean, the finishings and it's really important.
So the construction chapter there'll be some kind of general zero waste construction, like, you know, things that you'll see maybe regularly, gussets and things that maybe aren't used really conventionally, and like how you would construct those things. Also looking at finishings for zero waste. But we are going to show you how to make 2 garments from start to finish. So the zero waste trousers from the pattern master from Danielle's from Decode, and then also the coat that's been kind of developed as a kind of prototype basically.
And we're going to develop it into, you know, the final version. So tomorrow I'll be filming, like I said earlier, about what are the problems with the prototype at this point and what I would do to remedy that, and then we'll go through that process. So you'll see like that zero waste is not like one and done in every case. Sometimes it is. Sometimes sort of randomly, like, oh, that was
works
great.
out.
Fantastic. But a lot of times, just like with regular design processes, it's, you know, it's an iterative thing, and you try and work out the best way to do it. And you have to think, you know, quite creatively, and it's a fun process. Construction becomes part of the design process.
Yeah,
with
definitely.
Zero waste for sure. So if you love sewing, then this is for you.
So whether it's open-ended and it's about, you know, learning the design process and being able to put something together that you kind of work through and develop based on the ideas we've taught you, or, you know, if you're a home sewer, you might want a little bit more like, this is a pattern and these are the steps. Hopefully, you know, we'll be able to cater to each of you through this. So
there is a question from
sure, Hillary can read.
My voice is going to be really loud for everyone. But are you open to collaborate with design schools around the world? I feel it's so important that budding designers are introduced to zero waste garment making at an early stage of design school education. So are you open to collaborating?
Well, we already do work with universities. We did a workshop with AMD in Germany.
And one in Paris as well.
And one in Paris this year already.
Yeah.
And we have talked about, you know, approaching universities or design schools with this course and offering it as a kind of package to students as well.
Maybe with some
with additional support, basically. Because what we find is that we're basically teaching the same workshop over and over
like
and
the
over
introduction is the
again.
same.
There's no need for us to do it live over and over again. So this e-learning course is kind of like, providing that part. So, you've got all the basics. And then if you've got questions, you want to explore zero waste, you want to, like we can come in and help you move on from that. But I mean, absolutely, I think part of, once the e-learning course is developed, we'll probably have Hilary put some packages together and approach universities with like, this is what we do, this is what we can offer your students. Are you interested in, purchasing a package at, a fair price universities?
Basically we are thinking about a licensing system where, you could work with schools, but also with companies, depending on the amount of people they want to get trained on zero waste design. If you know anything about licensing, we are very interested.
Or if you know any schools that might be interested, if you're a student or you think a university or college might be interested, then let us know, and we would love those contacts as well, because we'll be looking to get in touch once the course is ready. So is there any other questions or comments? Don't currently see anything in the chat. Is there anything? I think someone just spoke up.
Yeah. Seeing you hello. Seeing you all together makes me really want to meet with other people in person for zero waste design, fun and games and shenanigans. And I'm like, it would be really cool down the road to have like zero waste symposiums or retreats or something.
Look where we are. It's crazy. We're basically at an artist's residency center that does this kind of thing. So it's an amazing idea.
Yeah, that would be so cool. Imagine that. And without quite so much like work or like
actual retreat.
Let's talk fun stuff about zero waste.
Experiment and make things without.
Oh my god, that would be so cool. I would love to do that. Yeah, sounds really cool.
We might have to have one like that moves continents every year, goes to a different continent.
That's a good idea. Because flying over, crossing the globe to do some zero waste stuff is not like that relevant in terms of environmental impact, but
we could just be like and bike to it.
Yeah.
Show up and bike.
Yeah. Let's bike to Australia.
Yay.
Yeah, when I flew I was flying to Perth from Sweden to deliver a zero waste workshop, the very last zero waste workshop that I delivered in person. And I was flying there, and I'm like, what am I doing? This is like, it just didn't make any sense. Like all of a sudden, I don't know why it hadn't fully kind of dawned on me prior to that point, but it was like, this is weird and not cool. Yeah, a total paradox. It was bizarre, but that being said, meeting in person is just like can't replace
it's very powerful.
Yeah.
What do we do? We need a teleportation device.
Yeah, absolutely. The future now. Thanks for asking your question. Oh, we got another one. Do you want to read it out, Hilary?
It's been helpful with regular sewing, seeing how zero waste designers use scraps and patterns. It's been easy to incorporate these tips into my tiny scraps, although this isn't the whole solution, it helps. Victoria Carnash Balls.
Victoria Carnash is a member from our community.
Yeah. Does she make...
has developed several zero waste patterns.
Yeah. I've actually had some of my students in my zero waste wardrobe class made our patterns. Yeah.
So are you going to go into that? Are you going to go into that a little bit with your module on Friday? Talking about what you do with bits you have left over, if you have an existing pattern or not?
Probably not. I mean, I'll probably address it as part of that module, but not while we're here, because I can address that later. Yeah. Basically, because Mylene is staying with me longer, we're prioritizing what Holly and Danielle need to film this week, and then Mylene and I can film more in the coming weeks. So, I think we'll address and kind of talk about that within a kind of unit, some of the ways that you can use these small bits of fabric with conventional patterns. But it's really important because, you know, zero waste design, particularly for the home sewing world, is quite new, and there isn't a garment graded for every size, for every kind of style you'd want to wear. So it's, you know, if you sew for yourself, you generally going to have to use conventional patterns to some extent still, while the kind of space zero waste kind of grows and there's more offering. So definitely, we'll look at offering that.
Oh yeah, Sheena said one of her recent designs has beautiful little scrapbooks. I've been trying to on them.
Oh, cool.
Quickly, just for anyone, I've seen a few new people have joined Instagram Live if we're doing Q&A, so if you have any questions, just add them into the chat and I'll ask them to the team.
Hello, new people on Instagram Live.
One of the things that has been really interesting for me, has been realizing how far zero waste as a movement, a thing, has come in, you know, in the years that I've been involved in it. It's so hopeful for me that the kinds of engagement from like industry that we get now compared to when I began, like you couldn't even compare it. Like it's like, you know, sometimes you felt like when I would be talking to industry, you know, the late 2000s, you feel like you're getting laughed at. Like they just think you're absurd. And now people come to us and, you know, and they want more from us, and you know, you're facilitating this, you know, some of our community to be working with these companies so that they can do the stuff that...
I'm not sure if the community actually really knows what's happening there. I mean, maybe you should explain a little bit, Mylene, what we're doing in that way.
Basically, so I've been working a lot with Decathlon, like a Decathlon group, which is quite like famous in France, but I mean, it's international.
In Europe,
at least in Europe. And so in Decathlon there are many brands. Like basically it's one brand for one sport. So you have one brand for gymnastics, one brand for skiing, one brand for basketball. And so I've been working a lot with them on minimal waste design. So basically the same as zero waste design, it's just that the main goal is to reduce fabric consumption. Because like the environmental impact is directly calculated from the amount of resources that you extract. And they were very interested in collaborating with zero waste designers coming from different backgrounds and coming from different countries. So Zero Waste Design Online Collective has become like a recruitment agency,
facilitator.
So so now like a few designers from our community are working for Decathlon to inspire the team. So it's not about developing products that are ready to be manufactured. It's more about inspiring the design teams, like about new shapes, how you can create shape or form on the body that are more optimized. So hopefully we'll have more and more opportunities coming in the next months or years. So if you are interested in freelancing on zero waste design, you can get in touch with me.
We also have, like, we post our opportunities, job opportunities on, I think it's under community. I think community opportunities, if you go to our website.
Yeah, so I haven't updated.
Yeah, there's a few. I think there's still the community activator role on that. But
just in case.
We need to update. We need to update the website. But we do post opportunities there as well. But let's have a look. Oh, there's a question. Yeah, Hillary.
Just to Holly, how long have you been doing this?
Okay, I started doing zero waste design in 2005.
17 years?
17 years.
Yeah.
I started doing it before it had a name. So you couldn't Google it, but that's partly because the internet kind of didn't exist. And so like you couldn't search what is zero waste design. And in fact I Googled like zero waste design the other on Monday I think, just to see what kind of things came up. And I was looking at like the Wikipedia page, it was like super out of date. And there's like one of the kind of most commonly asked questions we're going to use in our myths and stuff. It's like, is zero waste impossible? and other stuff like, oh god, what was it? I can't remember. But yeah, so I've been doing it for a long time, and I'm like,
There's a question. How was
20.
oh yeah, no shit.
It's 17 years because I am answering that question and not do mental maths. That's why.
No, it is right. She's just saying, how was it 17 years
Oh,
ago?
I thought I got it wrong. I was like, yeah.
It's just honorable.
Not a surprise.
17 years ago.
Yeah, I know. It's terrible.
Yeah, goodness gracious.
We've also got a really lovely comment from the Meshwari saying, your work as a team gives me hope to so many designers like me at different corners of the world. Thank you for existing.
Oh,
Lovely.
It's our pleasure.
It's been nice realizing that we exist in 3D.
I know. Touch you.
I know.
Touch you. Yeah. Well, we've got about 7 minutes left to the call. If there's any other pressing questions or from the Instagram live as well, feel free.
Mara?
Oh, Maura, you're here! Hi! Oh, I didn't know you were there.
Another person I want to be.
Oh, and your face! Hi! Morag and I went to uni together, so she's a very special person.
Can you see her message?
Do you want to read it?
Hi all, I have to run for a train. I feel bad tonight on camera to sort of do your voice for you. But I have to run for a train soon. But I just wanted to say it's so nice to see you all together and huge congratulations on all you achieved already. One quick question for me is, have you had any thoughts or future aspirations to collaborate with industries outside of fashion/clothing?
Yeah.
Holly,
Do you have plans for like furniture?
Yeah, I want to make zero waste furniture, like really interestingly shaped, like flat pack kind of furniture, which can have textile applications as well. But yes, furniture is the next step. But like literally anything you look around and look at you as a hard or soft object could be zero waste.
Yeah.
So like literally, yes, everything.
Yeah, for sure.
I think if you've got the design, if you've got the basic design skills and the design thinking, then you can apply it to so many things. And you worked on furniture with your friend Emma in your PhD as
furniture.
well.
I've done a little bit of zero waste furniture design. So the upholstery was zero waste and the frame was zero waste, but approached from a fundamentally different way because it was like battens of wood, and 3D printed joins and like stuff like that. So it was super cool. Is there a question in the thing?
I do, once you're ready, once you've answered that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, me too. Like, I'm really to prepare my trip to come to Scotland.
Oh yeah.
I've started to make some gear for my bike, like the frame bag of my bike, and I thought, oh, maybe there is an opportunity to make some zero waste bags, and the good thing about it is that there is no grading.
Actually, you know what?
Bikes are different sizes.
Yeah, sure. It would apply only to one bike, but yeah.
Morgan and I actually talked about doing like a zero waste rucksack or something when we finished uni for Dutch Design Week, and I can't remember why it didn't happen, but I think that's the.
Is there a question on Instagram?
Yeah, we've seen it, and it's Clay.
It's my husband, everyone.
Hi, Clay. One day we'll get to meet you in person as well, which will be lovely.
This may be a question you've heard a million times, so you can disregard it if so. How does zero waste design online contend with pre-consumer and post-consumer waste? Does it acknowledge one that is better than the other?
Good question.
I hope everyone on Zoom can hear that.
I'm not going to answer because we talk all the time.
Right.
So you guys give him your answer.
Okay. So, I mean, I can't remember who I was talking to about it, but so with the interesting thing about when you think about pre and post consumer waste, so a lot of the methods or approaches in terms of the circular economy and all that kind of thing, it really focuses on recycling. It tells us that we don't need to change anything we do about our systems. All we need to do is recycle it. So we can continue to consume in the way that we always have. We can continue to waste in terms of production, doesn't matter, because we can recycle it all. But the problem is that actually those methods of recycling either don't really exist, or the infrastructure to support them, like as in to gather the wasted resources, whether that's pre-consumer waste or post-consumer waste, it kind of doesn't matter. Like those mechanisms for collecting it, that they don't exist. And then even if they did, the amount of energy required to process it and the chemicals in the water or whatever to turn that waste into a new textile thing would be far better off not making it in the first place. So the waste hierarchy, in terms of, what's it called? Lands, I can never remember what it's called. I'll remember some other time. There's like a specific reference from the 1970s. This guy who invented this idea of the waste hierarchy. Basically, it says that first you should try to eliminate the production of waste. That has always got to be the first port of call. Because from an energy perspective, it's always better to not make it than to try and have to deal with it later.
Yeah.
But the issue is that like our industry is built on this idea that we waste stuff. Like all of the models for costing things, you when you buy garments, you're paying for that waste. So there's no real incentive for a company to do anything about it unless they feel some kind of moral imperative or legislation comes in and suddenly they have extended consumer responsibility regulations that they need to adhere to. So yeah, post-consumer, pre-consumer waste, super interesting question.
Here's a follow-up one, also from Clay. We also talk about this a lot. Okay. How does Zero Waste Design Online intend to succinctly address the nuances in its effort to educate and set it aside from other methods that are technically being called zero waste?
Yeah,
like number one pet peeve.
Yeah. That is a really good question to include in the e-learning course.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
actually.
that's
Thank you, Clay.
Thanks, Clay.
I
You
don't
could
know
add
the
that to our
answer to
myth
that.
busting too.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that. I find it really tricky
Yeah.
because it's like there's so many different ways you can do this. So I'm kind of like, everybody's welcome. Let's all hang out.
One of the things we're doing in our course though is we've got a glossary and we're going to define zero waste pattern cutting, zero waste design, zero waste, so that we can clarify what we mean when we're talking about zero waste design, what we mean when we're talking about zero waste pattern cutting, so that it's clear. Because I think they start to just kind of be like, what is what? And I think often. Generally, people think of zero waste as like upcycling.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Using old garments
or upcycling
reusing
fabric.
scraps.
I would argue that zero waste design is where you design it to be zero waste at the outset. So what I was just saying about pre-consumer and post-consumer stuff is like you design, with the first time you design it so it doesn't make waste. And ideally, you would also think about its cycles of use.
Yeah.
So not just the first time, but you think about how it's constructed, the materials it's constructed from, so that it's able to be kind of reused or its life extended because you can repair it. I've got a garment that I brought along for tomorrow, which has like a really wide hem in the bottom, and what it did from a design perspective is it added weight to the bottom of the garment, and so it hung really nicely. But then from a durability perspective, I can use that kind of extra hem to patch, like I sat down on a chair and it had like an outdoor chair and it had a little like burr on it, and when I stood up it made a tear in the back of my top. And I could take a piece from this hem and use it to repair it, and it's like the same weight, it's worn out the same way. Yeah.
We should add that into the chapter about durability.
And so Timo Rissanen had a really cool shirt that he developed, which was called the Endurance shirt. And it kind of used that principle where these parts of these patterns that you can use to reinforce it so that it lasts longer, but you can also use it to repair it, because you're never throwing any part of it away. So you can use it to fix things or to reset stuff. And the make use garments will do that. They come from that idea that we can reset, visible mending, and then you make a new thing, and then you mend it again, and then you cut a new shape, and then you have this like insane story. I had a master's student who did that. She did like 9 iterations.
Amazing. Yeah.
Amazing.
Comment from Sheena, a couple of questions back, I think this is, but saying, I always think about those protein folding gamers. Can you
Yeah.
I figure if they can figure out stuff like that for gaming, we can figure out zero waste design. And Marie Charlotte said, thank you girls all for the amazing work you've done so far. Since I began to sew zero waste patterns, I can no more sew any pattern not zero waste. Could you tell me more about the tessellation method?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Or tell more, maybe that's the
You can read a little bit about it in the very first academic book chapter I ever had published. I can't even remember what it was. Like 2010, maybe. I don't know. It had tessellation as one of the methods.
I think I just read that when I was in Egg on my residency.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, why are we not talking about tessellation as a method?
So, I mean, tessellation is basically just where you have the same shape and you repeat it. It's a really, really different approach, and when you do it, it's kind of more like sculpture. It's a very couture method, the way that I did it anyway. But actually, in a way,
It can be very simple as well.
Yeah, it can be super simple.
And
It
we've
doesn't
got
have to be-
posts on our Instagram. There's does anyone remember the shoe designer?
Yeah,
What's his name again?
Yeah. Oh, and Emrose, all of their.
Oh yeah, at the bottom
And
it says that.
I think Liz has a hygienic pad as
Yeah,
well.
she does. Yeah. Liz, I was just thinking, if you could post in the chat the document that you posted in one of your newsletters about, like, I think it was like a primary school, like, step-by-step how to do tessellation. It was so good.
Yeah.
If you could post that in the chat for anyone who wants to try tessellation. I have found it very helpful in teaching tessellation, so I think you'd find it helpful in attempting to do it. So, I think Liz will maybe do that for us.
I love. I've always loved MC Escher's artworks.
Oh yeah,
and
Dutch artist.
And so I was just like, when I first saw them, and my brain was like, I wonder if you could like make a garment using that method. That would be so fun. And so it was just fun. But it's a really cool method, very, very different to a lot of the other ones that we've been teaching, which are kind of bigger, more conventional sizes of pattern pieces. But tessellation is great for like swimwear, underwear,
things with
wallets.
very like short, concave, convex shapes.
I've been actually thinking that making an eye mask pattern would be so easy. And I always, my son also likes to wear an eye mask, and I thought that would be really simple to do.
I designed a pair of zero waste glasses once. And
Did you?
Yeah.
I feel like you maybe.
It was back. It was first year of RCA, and it was for this competition, and then it didn't go anywhere, so I didn't pursue it any further. So hey, add that to the number of things we want to do outside of apparel.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if we have any other questions.
No, Marie says thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Liz says she'll find it.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, but we have, if you scroll back on our Instagram, there's a footwear designer. We've got it shows their pattern. So you can have a look at that example. And then we just posted about Emroche. I keep saying Emroche. Is it? Emroche. I don't know if you're there, Emma, and could actually pipe up. But we did a post about them. There's a blog post. Maybe Hillary can pop the blog post into the chat.
Oh, thanks, Liz.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, that link is there from Liz. If you want to try tessellation, I highly recommend using that as a starting point. And checking out some of MC Escher's work as well is quite inspiring. But we will eventually, like, the plan is to develop modules on each of the different methodologies for zero waste. So the plan is you'll be able to kind of purchase these add-ons. We'll see how it goes. We're still working everything out, but hopefully, like, if you specifically want to learn one method, whether it's drape or tessellation, you'd be able to just have a really brief short course on that, and you can kind of purchase.
Pick your own adventure.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping we can work out, is kind of a pick your own, choose your own adventure of zero waste design e-learning. We'll see how the build goes.
Just quickly, Linda says, love MC Escher. There's a book called Designing Tessellations by Ginny Bayer that has to do with tessellation and quilting.
Ooh,
Oh,
cool.
interesting.
Thank you.
I want to look that up. I'm going to just copy and paste that. Cool. Great. Well, we're just at about 10 past.
Cool.
Not quite.
Tessellation.
The Bear book is terrific. Lyndall, that is the best book on tessellations I've read. I think it might be out of print now. Oh, shame.
By Ginny Bayer.
Yeah, we'll have a look and check it out.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Any last questions before we wrap up? You can come back to us on Friday, depending on filming schedule. We're hoping 3 to 5. It might be 4 to 6. We'll see. But you can join us also on Friday. We'll probably engage with you a bit towards the end, but it's more an Instagram live of like a behind the scenes of filming, because we're going to be actually filming our module on like myth busting and like a general Q&A and give you some insights on what filming is like. And but if you have questions, you can kind of post them, and then we'll maybe
You get the bloopers live.
Yeah, you get the bloopers live. We've got a couple funny ones, but
So many bloopers.
Yeah.
yeah. So I think that is all the questions. So hopefully you've enjoyed tonight. It's been really nice to connect with you all again. And remember, you can book into the next community call, which, if I recall off the top of my head, is the 16th of June from 7 to 8 p.m. CET, back to the normal time. And it's about building community and networks. And we're going to be doing some more kind of connecting in small groups, breakout rooms, so you can kind of meet more of the community on a personal kind of basis. So if you would like to join, we'd love to see you.
Just higher up in the chat.
Yeah.
And Christine said the Bayer book is terrific. Just making sure everyone's heard.
Great. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll maybe see you on Friday. I guess keep an eye out for an e-learning course.
Yeah, it's not going to be tomorrow.
No. Just so you know, time frame, it's probably going to be autumn before it's launched.
There's a lot of editing.
Yeah, and a lot more filming. And but we are going to be looking for people to test the e-learning course. So if you are interested, send us an email or a DM on Instagram. Our email address is hello@zwdocollective.org. We recently set up an email address. So you can email us or DM us on Instagram, and we'll start collating your details if you would like to test the MVP, which means you would get free access to the first version of it, and in exchange we'd be looking for your feedback, kind of detailed feedback. So if you're interested, let us know. And I guess that's it. Enjoy the moments together. Thank you for sharing. It's great to see you. Nice to see you too.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.